the worst part was I named everybody. I named Donald Trump. I named everyone who I thought was a co-conspirator at the time. So I named like Alan Dershowitz, Donald Trump, absolutely the Clintons. These are people that I saw coming and going, that I knew were part of it. And I made it really clear that this is a very scary thing for children, and that I see between 5 and 10 girls a day going upstairs. And now that I know what's happening to them, I want it stopped in 1996. I said, do you have a file on Les Wexner? And he said, why? And I said, he's the head of the snake in this, in America. And I don't even know I was intuiting this. And also, I think it's common sense when you see all the stuff I saw going on. And anyway, when I said that to him, he said, yeah, I don't know, maybe we do. And I said, well, these people are using child pornography, and they've stolen photographs of my sisters. That right there would have been life in prison for Jeffrey and Ghislaine, and I know her well. I lived around her for a year, lived in all of their houses with them. Oh, my gosh, that woman is the most dangerous asset for Israel that you can even imagine. I mean, she is so dangerous. And she grew up with the royals. She showed me all the photo albums. And when I called Ghislaine and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. This is how this woman spoke to me. Yeah, this is how these people think, Whitney. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else's. I swear to you. It was a theme all the time with them. With Eileen Guggenheim, with, Jeffrey Epstein, with Ghislaine. It was a theme. Jeffrey was a lot less horrible than Ghislaine as far as a human being, just being around her, because she was raping just as many children.
Oh,
but she was the one with
So the country club, you weren't allowed to go because it was only for people of a certain religion
Jewish
and
people.
Ethnicity. Okay, so
yeah.
That's
Religious.
unfortunate. Okay.
And for a long time, I had a hard time with all Jewish people. I'm going to be honest with you. For a long time, I was like, I think it's all the Jews. I don't know, because my sister's like, Maria, it's just the ones you met. It's these people. It's just unfortunate that all the Jewish people I met also happen to be pedophiles that run the world economy, So it gives you a bad taste in your mouth. You do it right now. This is how they spoke to me, and I did it. And this is how the elite speak to their, quote, servants. They're I don't know, just like the regular people who aren't Jewish that are allowed to eat at the country club. Aren't allowed to eat at the country club, sorry. It's a big part of it. It's a problem. Anybody who was not Jewish, and you're right about this, but the way they spoke about them, it was really horrifying. And it showed me a great deal about how these people truly believe that they're chosen to do something here. I don't know. It's unbelievable to me. I mean, and it was every one of them, the way they spoke. And one time I heard Isabel say to her mother, Eileen, Mommy, why do you call Maria a nobody? And she said, honey, Isabel, Maria is not a Jew. She is a nobody. Well, Ghislaine did make it very clear to me that Annie was very lucky to be able to carry a Jewish baby. That was another thing. She said she would have been so lucky. See, they constantly made it very clear to me. You can't eat at the country club because you're not a Jew. You can't, and I mean, it's like they get hit with a soccer ball in the gut. I've told every news network, and they go, oh, we can't talk about that. Of course, you can't talk about the truth, right? You can, but most people just won't. And I think it's a huge part of it because this is a problem. This elitism is very deep, and these are the people pushing racism. These are the people pushing white. They're saying there's white supremacy, which maybe there is in some ignorant Southern hillbilly groups, but I don't know any white supremacists. But I know a lot of Jewish supremacists. They're all elites, and they're all connected, and they're all one big group, and they are the biggest supremacists I've ever met. And the things they said about black people made me cry. Honest to God, it made me sick. I was like, I can't. And they make it very clear. They made it very clear that I was a servant because I was white. I was a white servant. Yeah. It was made very clear to me. No, you're just a servant. You're white. She says to me, my dad was a very powerful man, and, he was very important. She said, Maria, you don't understand. And then she's showing me, who she grew up with and how powerful he was and how much money they had. And then she goes on to tell me, she said, Maria, and this is true, she said, and she showed me, she had passports. Get this. I don't know how this is legal. She had a passport, a French passport, an English passport, an Israeli passport, an American passport, and there was one other. I'm trying to think of what the other one was. And I was like, I thought you were only allowed to be citizen like of 2 countries or something. I didn't know. And she's like, oh, no, because of my dad. I'm a citizen of all these nations. And I'm like, what? So then later when she was talking to me about something one day, she said that the Rothschilds were the greatest protectors of her family. And she wasn't talking about Lynn Forrester, by the way.
Before she said that, she had told me that the reason I mentioned Lynn Forrester there is because Lynn Forrester, the Rothschild, who married into the Rothschild family, a longtime friend and supporter of the Clinton family, had threatened her life like numerous times, wants her dead. And she said, I know who's protecting Ghislaine Maxwell right now, and it's the Rothschilds. And I know this because they send me death threats. They're the people that want me to shut up. And she says she doesn't think that a lot of people have speculated because of how important Robert Maxwell was and how, enmeshed he was with the Israeli intelligence, that, Ghislaine's probably in Israel. She says no, that she's in the UK and the Rothschilds are hiding her in England. And that's why she's untouchable. And that's why the story's dead. She says it's them. And I think people need to know that.